Did you know most traders crash their accounts not because of the market, but because of their own emotions? Scary stuff, right? Yeah, these feelings are like silent killers, wrecking your trades without you even noticing. In this video, we're breaking down the four most dangerous emotions every trader faces. And trust me, they're sneaky. I'll show you how fear, greed, impatience, and overconfidence are silently killing your trades and exactly what you can do to stop them. Stick around because by the end, you'll know how to stay calm, think smart, and keep your account safe even when the market goes crazy. Let me tell you something. Fear is probably the sneakiest emotion out there for traders. I'm talking about that gut-wrenching, sweaty palms kind of fear that hits you when the market starts moving against you. And here's the thing. Most people think it's just a minor nuisance, like, oh, I'll get over it. Nah, bruh. Fear is a silent account killer, and it creeps in on traders of every level, beginners, intermediates, even the so-called pros. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone freeze up on a trade, staring at the screen completely paralyzed because they're scared of losing money? That's fear right there. It's not just about the money, though. That's the obvious part. Fear messes with your mind. It clouds your judgment, and it makes you second-guess moves that, if you were calm, you'd probably execute like a boss. It turns simple decisions into anxiety-fueled nightmares. Now, let's break down how this fear actually shows up in trading. First off, there's the fear of loss. Every trader has felt it, trust me. You enter a trade, the price moves a bit against you, and suddenly your brain starts screaming, get out now! Even if your strategy says hold tight, fear whispers the exact opposite. And if you listen, boom, you chop your profits short or get stopped out prematurely. That's money literally thrown away, my dude. Then there's fear of missing out. Yeah, that one sounds weird because FOMO usually feels exciting, right? But it's also a type of fear. It's that nagging little voice saying, everyone's making money, why am I not? So you jump into trades you don't fully understand, hoping to catch that next big move. Spoiler alert, that usually ends with losses and frustration. FOMO is fear dressed up in hype, and it's just as deadly as straight-up panic. Fear also hits your decision-making like a wrecking ball. You start hesitating on entries, scaling back positions, or overanalyzing charts. Suddenly, a trade that could have been simple turns into hours of stress. Your brain starts running these worst-case scenarios non-stop, and instead of being proactive, you become reactive, letting emotions drive the wheel instead of logic. And that, my friend, is a one-way ticket to losing consistency in your trading game. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a trader, we'll call him Jake. Jake's been following a trend he believes in. Everything's lining up technically, but the market dips slightly, and that tiny loss triggers fear. Jake panics, closes the trade, and watches the market bounce back the next day. He could have made a solid profit, but his fear robbed him. Stories like Jake's are everywhere, and most of them don't even make it to forums or social media because traders feel embarrassed to admit how much fear controls them. Fear also has a long-term effect on your trading mindset. It's not just about one trade. If you consistently let fear dictate your actions, you'll develop a pattern of hesitation, avoidance, and second-guessing. This slowly eats away at your confidence, making you doubt even strategies that actually work. And confidence is everything in trading. Without it, even the best setups feel like a gamble. Fear quietly erodes that confidence until you're stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage. And here's the kicker. Fear doesn't always show itself obviously. Sometimes it hides under over-preparation, overanalyzing charts, or setting tiny position sizes. Traders think they're being smart and cautious, but deep down, it's fear controlling them, stopping them from taking the trades they should. You've got to recognize it, call it out, and learn to manage it, because ignoring it is like letting termites eat away at the foundation of your trading house. So, how do you fight fear? Well, it's not about eliminating it. Trust me, fear's never going away completely. It's about recognizing it,
accepting it, and having a system that keeps you in control. That means having rules, sticking to your strategies, journaling your trades, and practicing disciplined risk management. The more you experience the market with a structured plan, the less fear will have the power to hijack your decisions. Fear becomes something you acknowledge and move through instead of something that freezes you in your tracks. Now, here's the thing. Fear is just one piece of the puzzle. While it's huge, it's also closely tied to another emotion that sneaks in right after fear starts doing its thing. And that, my friends, is greed. Yeah, greed. It's that voice in your head that says, "Yo, I just made some cash. Let's make even more. Come on, don't stop now." Sounds familiar, right? I mean, who doesn't want more money? But in trading, greed is a straight-up account killer if you're not careful. Greed shows up in all sorts of ways. Sometimes it's obvious. You take a trade, it goes well, and instead of sticking to your plan, you push it way further than you should, chasing that extra profit like a junkie chasing a high. Other times it's subtle, like over-leveraging just a tiny bit more than normal, or entering trades on setups you normally would skip just because the potential payout looks fat. That's the thing about greed. It disguises itself as opportunity. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing whispering, "You got this, don't hold back." And if you listen, you're basically walking into a trap. Now, the impact of greed is brutal. First off, it clouds your judgment. When you're in greed mode, you start ignoring your trading rules. That careful strategy you set up, forget it. Risk management, who needs it? Suddenly your trades aren't based on logic or charts anymore. They're driven purely by that hunger for more. And the market doesn't care about your greed. It's going to test you, push you, and eventually bite back. And guess what? Most traders don't see it coming until it's too late, watching what could have been a solid gain turn into a nasty loss. Let me break it down with an example. Picture a trader named Lisa. She's been doing solid trades, her strategy's working, and she just scored a nice profit. Instead of cashing out, greed whispers in her ear, "Don't stop now. Ride it longer." So she doubles down, thinking she's smart. At first it works, and she's pumped. But then the market flips. That sweet profit evaporates in minutes. That's greed in action, taking your wins and turning them into regrets. And the worst part, it's addictive. The more you fall for it, the more you start chasing bigger wins, constantly testing your luck. Greed also feeds off fear. It's wild how connected these two emotions are. Remember fear from the last section? Well, when fear makes you exit early or avoid trades, greed pops in to compensate. It's like your brain is trying to balance things out. "Oh, you missed that move? No worries. Let's get double next time." But the thing is, greed doesn't follow logic. It only follows desire. So instead of balanced trading, you get impulsive, overconfident moves that can wreck your account faster than fear ever could on its own. And here's something most traders don't realize. Greed isn't just about making money. It's also about ego. It feeds on your need to feel like a winner, to prove to yourself and others that you're killing it. That's why you'll see traders taking insane risks just to hit big wins, posting screenshots, flexing on social media, or bragging about trades that were basically pure luck. That ego-driven greed is the silent killer lurking in every trade, and it doesn't discriminate between newbies or seasoned pros. It gets everyone eventually if they're not careful. But here's the silver lining. You can manage greed just like fear. The key is having a plan and sticking to it no matter what. That means setting profit targets, defining how much risk you're willing to take, and most importantly, knowing when to walk away. Greed loses its power when you have discipline. You got to train your mind like a pro athlete trains their body, consistently, patiently, and with brutal honesty. Journaling your trades, reviewing your wins and losses, and keeping your emotions in check will make a massive difference. Another trick is awareness. Just recognizing when greed is creeping in can be a game changer. Ask yourself, am I taking this trade because it fits my strategy or just because I want more? That little self-check might feel small, but it's huge for keeping your account alive and your mindset solid. Over time, you start to see patterns, how greed tries to hijack your brain, when it strikes hardest, and how to respond instead of react. And here's the part that's wild. Greed can actually teach you something. Once you start spotting it, you'll learn to control it, turning it into a disciplined form of ambition instead of reckless desire. You begin chasing smart opportunities instead of just chasing wins, and that's when trading starts feeling less like a gamble and more like a real skill. But don't get too comfy, because greed has a sneaky cousin waiting right around the corner. After we tackle greed, we're going to dive into impatience, which often shows up when traders are chasing quick wins or trying to outsmart the market. Impatience loves to ride on the back of greed, pushing you to act before you're ready, making trades you shouldn't, and rushing setups that need patience. Stick around, because once you understand how greed and impatience team up, you'll see why controlling your mind is just as important as knowing the charts. Alright, so we just talked about fear and how it can paralyze even the sharpest traders, making them second-guess moves and chop their profits short. But here's the kicker. Right after fear does its thing, another sneaky little bastard steps in and messes with your account. And that, my friends, is greed. Yeah, greed. It's that voice in your head that says, "Yo, I just made some cash. Let's make even more. Come on, don't stop now." Sounds familiar, right? I mean, who doesn't want more money? But in trading, greed is a straight-up account killer if you're not careful. Greed shows up in all sorts of ways. Sometimes it's obvious. You take a trade, it goes well, and instead of sticking to your plan, you push it way further than you should, chasing that extra profit like a junkie chasing a high. Other times it's subtle, like over-leveraging just a tiny bit more than normal, or entering trades on setups you normally would skip just because the potential payout looks fat. That's the thing about greed. It disguises itself as opportunity. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing whispering, "You got this, don't hold back." And if you listen, you're basically walking into a trap. Now, the impact of greed is brutal. First off, it clouds your judgment. When you're in greed mode, you start ignoring your trading rules. That careful strategy you set up, forget it. Risk management? Who needs it? Suddenly your trades aren't based on logic or charts anymore. They're driven purely by that hunger for more. And the market doesn't care about your greed. It's going to test you, push you, and eventually bite back. And guess what? Most traders don't see it coming until it's too late, watching what could have been a solid gain turn into a nasty loss. Let me break it down with an example. Picture a trader named Lisa. She's been doing solid trades, her strategy's working, and she just scored a nice profit. Instead of cashing out, greed whispers in her ear, "Don't stop now. Ride it longer." So she doubles down, thinking she's smart. At first it works, and she's pumped. But then the market flips. That sweet profit evaporates in minutes. That's greed in action, taking your wins and turning them into regrets. And the worst part? It's addictive. The more you fall for it, the more you start chasing bigger wins, constantly testing your luck. Greed also feeds off fear. It's wild how connected these two emotions are. Remember fear from the last section?
Then there's the flip side. Impatience can also make you exit trades too early. You got a winner going, everything's looking good, but your brain starts yelling, "Don't push it, take some profit now." Maybe the trade still had plenty of room to run, but impatience convinces you to lock in a small gain. Over time, those small losses of opportunity start adding up, and you wonder why your account growth feels slow despite winning trades. That's the silent tax impatience charges every trader who doesn't respect the process. Let me break it down with an example. Imagine a trader, let's call him Mike. Mike spots a stock that's forming a textbook breakout. He's done his homework. Indicators are lined up, the trend is clear, but he's impatient. He enters too early, before the breakout really gains traction. The price spikes briefly, then pulls back hard, shaking him out of the trade. Frustrated, he jumps right back in on the rebound, but now he's chasing, not trading. By the end of the day, he's worn out, maybe down a little, and definitely more stressed than he started. That's impatience in action, turning a solid opportunity into a messy ride.
Impatience also feeds on emotions like fear and greed. Remember fear? That's the what if I miss out feeling. Greed, that's the I gotta get more energy. When you mix those with impatience, you've got a recipe for disaster. Suddenly you're taking trades that don't fit your plan, over-leveraging, or jumping in and out without any clear strategy. It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks, and the market doesn't reward that, it punishes it. Another tricky part about impatience is that it's addictive in its own weird way. Quick trades, fast profits, instant gratification, they feel good in the moment, but over time, this rush can lead traders to constantly chase action instead of being patient and disciplined. They start thinking, if I'm not trading, I'm losing money, which is a straight-up lie. Not trading when conditions aren't right is often the smartest move you can make, but impatience convinces you otherwise, and that's when your account starts bleeding slowly, trade by trade. So how do you fight impatience? Honestly, it's about discipline and mindset. One of the best ways is to develop a set of rules and stick to them. Entry conditions, exit conditions, position size, and risk limits. When you follow a plan, impatience loses its grip because you're not making decisions on a whim, you're executing a proven strategy. Another key trick is mindfulness, taking a step back, breathing, and reminding yourself that the market isn't going anywhere. It'll still be there if you wait for the perfect setup, can make a huge difference. And journaling your trades is huge. When you look back and see the times impatience cost you money, it's a real wake-up call. Over time, you start noticing the patterns, how impatience strikes after fear or greed hits, or how it creeps in during high volatility moments. Awareness is half the battle. Once you can spot impatience before it takes over, you can act intentionally instead of reacting emotionally. But here's the thing, impatience isn't always bad. When channeled correctly, a sense of urgency can keep you proactive and alert, making sure you don't miss setups entirely. The trick is knowing the difference between productive action and impulsive action. That's what separates the pros from the hobbyists, the ability to act quickly when the opportunity is legit, but wait patiently when the setup isn't perfect. Now, as dangerous as impatience is, it often paves the way for the last silent killer we need to talk about, overconfidence. Once you survive fear, greed, and impatience, or at least think you do, you might start feeling invincible. That's when overconfidence creeps in, whispering, "You're untouchable now. Nothing can go wrong, and every trade you touch is going to turn into gold." Sounds awesome, right? But trust me, overconfidence is a sneaky little bastard that can wreck your account quicker than any fear or greed ever could. Overconfidence usually creeps in after you've had some wins. Maybe you nailed a few trades back to back, or your strategy finally clicked, and you start thinking, "Man, I'm a genius. Nothing can stop me now." That's the classic setup. And here's the danger. It blinds you. It makes you ignore risk, skip your rules, and start taking trades that, if you were thinking clearly, you'd normally avoid. It's like driving a car blindfolded because you think you know the road perfectly. Sure, maybe you'll get lucky once or twice, but eventually, boom, crash. One of the biggest risks of overconfidence is overtrading. You start thinking every setup is a can't-miss opportunity. You push bigger sizes, jump into trades impulsively, and basically tell the market, "I got this, I'm unstoppable." And while a few early wins might feed your ego, the market doesn't care. It will test you, and eventually one bad move or a series of them can wipe out all the gains you thought you'd earned. Overconfidence makes you blind to the reality that trading is never 100% predictable, no matter how good you are. Another way overconfidence misleads traders is by making them skip risk management. Stop losses? Meh, who needs them, right? Position sizing? Psst, I'm feeling lucky. That's the thing. Once overconfidence takes over, it's easy to convince yourself that rules don't apply to you, and that's when your account can get destroyed in a blink. It's not just about losing one trade, it's about losing multiple trades because you've stopped respecting the very tools that are supposed to protect you. Let's put this into perspective with an example. Imagine a trader, we'll call her Sarah. She's been killing it lately, landing consistent wins, and she starts feeling invincible. One day, she spots a setup that's kinda there, but not perfect. Her overconfidence whispers, "Nah, you got this, don't worry about it." She jumps in with more leverage than normal, thinking the market will bend to her will. Predictably, the trade goes south. She tries to recover, doubling down again, and by the end of the week, her account looks nothing like it did a few days ago. That's the silent destruction overconfidence brings. It doesn't always hit immediately, but when it does, it's brutal. Overconfidence also plays tricks on your mindset. It convinces you that your past successes are guarantees for future wins. That hot streak feeling is dangerous because it stops you from analyzing trades objectively. You start ignoring warning signs, dismissing market conditions, and trusting your gut instead of your strategy. And when the market finally flips, that's when reality hits, and it hits hard. Here's another subtle way overconfidence gets traders. It makes you underestimate the competition, the market itself. You might think you're smarter than everyone else, or that you can outsmart institutions and big players. But markets aren't about what you think you know. They're about price action, probabilities, and discipline. Overconfidence makes you forget that simple truth, and that's when mistakes pile up. The crazy part is, overconfidence doesn't discriminate. Beginners, intermediates, pros, it hits everyone who starts believing they're untouchable. Even experienced traders with years of success can fall into this trap if they let their guard down. That's why the best traders are constantly checking themselves, reviewing their trades, and reminding themselves that no one ever beats the market 100% of the time. So how do you manage overconfidence? First off, keep a trading journal. Document everything, wins, losses, your reasoning behind each trade, and how you felt emotionally. When overconfidence tries to creep in, a quick look back at past mistakes will keep you humble. Second, stick to your risk management rules like your life depends on it, because it kinda does. Set stop losses, manage your position sizes, and respect the market no matter how hot you feel. And third, always be willing to learn. Overconfidence thrives in an ego-driven mindset, so keeping yourself grounded and curious is key. And here's the truth. Overconfidence isn't evil itself. It's only dangerous when it's unchecked. A healthy level of confidence helps you pull the trigger on trades you've analyzed, execute your strategy without hesitation, and believe in your skills. But when that confidence turns into arrogance, you're flirting with disaster. The line between confidence and overconfidence is thin, and successful traders know exactly where it is. Now that we've covered overconfidence, the last of the 4 silent killers, it all comes together. Fear, greed, impatience, and overconfidence are the emotions that silently control accounts and destroy traders every single day. Recognizing them is just the start. In the next part of this video, we're going to break it all down into practical strategies you can use to keep these emotions in check so you can trade smarter, stay disciplined, and actually protect your account from these silent killers. Stick around because this is the part that turns knowledge into action, and it's where your trading really starts leveling up.
All right, so we've walked through the 4 silent killers: fear, greed, impatience, and overconfidence. You've seen how each of these emotions can quietly wreck your trades, steal profits, and mess with your confidence. But here's the good news. Knowing about them is just step 1. The real game changer is learning how to manage them, control them, and use them to your advantage instead of letting them control you. First things first, discipline is your best friend. Seriously, it doesn't matter how good your strategy is if you can't stick to it. That means following your trading plan to the letter. Entry rules, exit rules, position sizing, risk limits, the whole deal. When fear hits, your plan keeps you from panicking. When greed whispers, it keeps you from chasing every move. And when impatience or overconfidence sneak in, your rules act like a safety net that stops you from making impulsive mistakes. Next up, journaling. Sounds boring, right? But trust me, it's a total game changer. Write down every trade you take, why you took it, how you felt, and what the outcome was. Over time, patterns start to pop up. Maybe fear makes you exit early, or greed pushes you to overtrade. Seeing it on paper helps you spot these traps before they wreck your account. It's like having a mirror for your trading brain, and the more honest you are with yourself, the better you get.
Another key is controlling your mindset. Take a step back when emotions hit. Breathe. Remind yourself that the market doesn't owe you anything. No trade is worth losing your cool over. Fear, greed, impatience, overconfidence, they're all part of the game, but they don't have to control it. Mindfulness, meditation, or even just a quick pause before pulling the trigger can help you stay in control and make decisions based on logic, not emotion. Risk management is huge too. Always know how much you're willing to lose before entering a trade. Use stop losses and never over-leverage. One bad trade shouldn't take out your account. The smartest traders aren't the ones who hit the biggest wins. They're the ones who survive the losses and stay consistent over time. Finally, remember that these emotions aren't enemies. They're signals. Fear tells you to be cautious. Greed reminds you to evaluate opportunity. Impatience shows where you need patience, and overconfidence warns you to stay humble. Recognize them, respect them, but don't let them run the show. So here's the deal. Start applying these strategies today. Stick to your plan, journal your trades, control your mindset, manage your risk, and watch how much better your trading becomes. If you do this consistently, you'll stop being a victim of these silent killers and start trading like a pro. And hey, if you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got more videos coming that dive even deeper into trading psychology, mindset, and strategies that can literally save your account. Don't miss out. Your trading journey is just getting started, and mastering your emotions is the key to winning the long game.